So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We are going to go through the 4-3-3 formation. We've been trying a few different kind of formations to try and get the most out of the players. At this point, I'm just trying to utilize what I've got. The only thing that I'm debating is just waiting for the Salah at the moment. So I've been giving him a try on the right wing instead. Because at the normal formation of 4-4-2, I tend to go with Adama, but he cannot play right wing. And then halfway through, we'll bring on Malin for the quick step plus. We've also dropped Rashford just because Dalglish is unbelievable, and we've chucked Mbappe on the wing. With the quick step, it works really well. I've then got this side because I do attack down the left quite a lot. Very much an Mbappe just user, to be honest. So it is kind of that way that I do have the two incisives working down here. And then I have my Valverde as my best DM / centre mid going on. And obviously then the back line works in a unison pretty well. The only one that I'm kind of lacking the chemistry on is Teo, which, to be honest, he's absolutely golden anyway, so I'm not too fussed about that one. And then the attack is working really, really well to get Dalglish at least just on the edge of the box, get the finesse shot. Mbappe's going to go down the wing. I've got the chance to get Salah coming in off the right as well, and it works really, really well. So if you're looking for coins, head to the description of the video, have a look at U7, click go to site, and you'll be transported straight to the coin page for FC25. There is plenty of amounts, and we know full well that U7 are the cheapest, safest, reliablest coins that you can get out there. Once selected your product, click buy, and you'll also be given a newcomer an extra bonus per time. Then obviously head over to the discount, type in JT11 for your discount code, and you'll be able to get that lovely 6% off every single time. And there is also massive creators that are on screen that are also affiliated with U7 Buy. And if that's not enough to convince you, there is lots of different reviews that you can go on Trustpilot and have a look for yourselves. Safe, reliable, and fast. But obviously you don't want the explanation, you want the whole thing. So I've started a brand new one so we can run through my tactics together. So obviously you want to utilize the code at the top there. I will put it in the description at the top line so you'll be able to see the code, but it is just at the top and we are going to go through it now. It is completely changed, so don't think that it is not here already. So we're going to go into custom, obviously. You want to then go into the 4-3-3 attacking, which is going to be the 4-3-3-4, or the fourth variation. We then have the build-up style. So this depends on your play style most definitely. You've got balance, counter, short passing, and then balance again. Now personally for me, I've always gone with balance. No matter the formation, balance just works very well in my eyes. If you're very good at passing and like to be almost a certain player that builds up really slowly, I think short passing could be your way. Counter I don't think is any work unless you are going for your last ditch attempt. You're 2-1 in the 80th minute, you've just got to find something. It could work in that aspect, but for me, balance has always been the number one. Defensive approach, again, you've got deep, balance deep and high, and then you've also got aggressive. Again, you're going to utilize the counter and the aggressive. If you are down, there's only so many certain scenarios that you can go for, and as you can see at the bottom, they have given you pros and cons to what you can go for here. Now obviously with this there was a glitch at the start where basically if you put it on like high at a certain level above, just above for aggression or below aggression in fact, you basically didn't get tired, which is always nice. On the high approach, I normally go on to, I think it's 65. You can play around with this depending on how you want to go with it. I normally go with high, and I think balance is the only other option I would normally go. Unless, again, if you go in deep, you could then potentially go for holding the lead. You're 2-1 up in the 80th minute and you do not want to give anything, then deep might be the question for a different custom tactic as well. Which is then leads us to with and without the ball. So if we go into these player roles then, I have a very specific way of playing, and also you want to utilize as many of the role pluses as you possibly can. Now, it's not necessarily the biggest way, and we'll kind of go through and see why. Goalkeeper wise, pretty standard. You have two different options. You have sweeper keeper and you have goalkeeper. Now, obviously with a sweeper keeper, it's going to be a modern goalkeeper, somebody who is going to basically almost be that person that's going to come out and attack to some extent. But with the beautiful playstyle plus, I normally just keep with a goalkeeper, the traditional shot stopper. Again, you can kind of go with a few different options here, but for me, Courtois has been absolutely excellent with goalkeeper every single time. My fullbacks is probably the biggest difference you can have because there is many different roles from fullback plus, attacking wingback, fullback and also wingback. Now obviously with Walker he's only got the fullback plus because he is my evolution. There is loads of different options you can go with, but for me, for both fullbacks, I personally like to go with fullback and then I go on defense. Obviously, Teo does have a fullback plus plus, but his defensive ability has been phenomenal. I like to just keep a solid back line. It really, really helps. Obviously, the defenders in the centre backs, you've got defender, stopper, and ball playing defender as well. I like to keep them as defender. I have a very standard back line, so I know that if I'm attacking quite heavily with Bellingham, Schneider, maybe Valverde's pressed up a little bit, I've always got 4 at the back. I always find if I do decide to go with an attacking wingback, it tends to normally let a little bit of a gap in. And I'm not necessarily the most brilliant defender in the world. I'm better at attacking than I am defending. But it's nice to have that back line of 4. And with this game, it's definitely more favoured towards defenders at this point. Until we find somebody who can manipulate that, they just pass left, right and centre. Then there's, to be honest, not a lot I can do. I could play with 7 at the back and they still would find their way forward. Which then puts us into the midfield. Again, loads of different options you can go with. Obviously with Valverde, like I said, he's going to be more of my defensive threat here. He has got the playmaker plus, and like I said, I am looking for that almost Patrick Vieira role where they are going to hold that little bit more. So obviously with this, you can see where you want to go. I am personally going to go with a holding player here on the defense because he wants to be holding this sort of position. With obviously the left-hand side with Virgil there and Teo, I'm quite happy with them to kind of not necessarily be too exposed, but he's most definitely going to be in that side. So obviously we're going to go with the defend and holding on this one. We then have Schneider on the other side, which is mainly going to be used for his playmaking. He's going to be that playmaker in the middle. He's going to be on the attack. I sometimes can go Roman, but I will be looking for that in the Bellingham role. Obviously it is Roman or attacking with a playmaker. So that is going to be his role in feeding Mbappe, basically. Bellingham in the cam role is a little bit different because he normally can play the centre mid role quite well. If we was to change him, in fact, we got player swap. We can move him here. We have got the 2 different roles that we could do. I have tried Schneider there. I do personally prefer Bellingham, but we've kind of just suddenly gone with Bellingham kind of more on the attacking side. But you could utilize this to get both of them on the plus if you really wanted to. Obviously, if we do swap him back again, you'll see you've got the playmaker plus and plus. With obviously Bellingham in the cam role, you are looking at the half winger, shadow striker or classic 10. So again, you could potentially change both of them here and both of them on the playstyle plus. With Schneider on this side, he's only got that, no half winger and the shadow striker in classic 10. Obviously the classic 10 is going to be just behind the Dalglish, and then the shadow striker is going to be pretty much almost a striker as well. Half winger is somebody who does provide both flanks also. So we would go with a playmaker here because both of them do have the incisive pass, which works really, really well. And then we've kind of got the 2 wingers here. Now, obviously with the wingers, I do both of these on personal, on attack. And then we also go attack here, and we will go for the inside forward, plus on Salah and plus on Mbappe. Also with Schneider, if I can get him here, we normally go with Roman here, just so he's kind of a bit of everywhere. Bellingham's going to attack from the left, feeding in Mbappe and a bit of Dalglish. Schneider's looking again at Mbappe, but Dalglish and Salah as well, to basically put them both in if he can. And then obviously with Salah, like we said, we did change him to inside forward, and he also will be on attack as well. So they're both almost being very, very heavy on the ball. And then Dalglish is going to have the advanced forward plus, which I think is the only one I personally like. And obviously he is going to be on attack. He has got support complete, personally for me. What do you got? When set to complete, the advanced forward has the freedom to move wide when necessary to receive a pass or create space. Personally, I've never used that, so let me know if you've actually used the complete focus, but I normally go with the attack. Keeps him very central in the middle. Obviously, we've got the wingers coming in on as like a left and right forward, and then we've got Schneider in the middle as well. When we go to with the ball, as you see, this is kind of how it would work. Valverde would kind of slot himself into that DM role. The 2 centre mid and cams in Schneider and Bellingham will push forward to almost play them passes, making an almost and attack 5 rather than 3 or 4. And then obviously we've got Mbappe and Salah that push forward that little bit more. We've got the defence that kind of bring themselves closer together. And when they come without the ball, they're kind of holding their line, going backwards and forwards, constantly kind of being in that straight line going up and down. And personally for me, that has worked the best, and there's going to be plenty of different ways that you can do it. We'll explore some other formations. If you've got any that you personally play, then leave them down below and we'll give them a try out and see if they're better than the 4-3-3 attack. Make sure you like and subscribe. Peace.